I've had enough of all this lockdown stuff by now, Alex.
I guess. I think
It's.
many people have.
I Before I did this podcast today, I did the only bit of research that I bothered to do was looking at when lockdown started, so I could make a point of how long we've been in lockdown for. Do you
Fair
know?
enough.
Do you know that in 2 days from when we're recording this, which will be the
Yes.
first of June, I believe,
Yes.
because we're recording on the 30th of May, it will be 10 weeks since we went into lockdown.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
10 whole weeks, and in that time we've done like 9 podcasts in a row now.
Yeah.
Living the,
Jesus.
aren't we all just living the dream? Aren't we? Don't you think? Oh,
I don't know. You think.
I suppose you better run the intro then. So, yes, welcome back everyone to On the Spotcast, which is our weekly podcast all about, what is it about? I don't really know. It's about a lot of stuff,
It's
really.
about.
It's about
Oh,
games, it's just general talk, a bit of banter here and there. We generally try to pick a weekly topic that we can discuss at length for a little while before diverging into other things. This week's topic is superhero or superhero games, I should say. It's a topic that Alex has chosen because he's been apparently watching a lot of what did you say, DC shows, was it? You said you've been watching, or was it?
yeah. Supergirl season 3, Arrow season 6, Flash season 4, and Legends of Tomorrow season 3. That's my latest batch of all that DC TV verse thing that they've been doing for years.
So yeah, so kind of like our other series, Thursday Follow Up, that we just haven't done for ages. Alex has used this to inspire him into this week's idea, where we're going to be talking about superhero games, which would include, our favourite superhero games, what games you might like to see, and all kinds of stuff like that. Also, after that, we're going to have some. I've got like a couple comments I can read out, but not masses. And we're going to talk about the Plat Chat, our little section where we talk about our trophies and achievements and things. And then we'll just finish it off by talking about the channel in general and what's coming up and what has been on the channel recently and all that kind of stuff. And what is this noise coming down from your end?
It's the doorbell package. Some kind of package is being delivered.
Ah,
It's probably my latest, batch of cocaine.
have you been ordering Taiwanese girlfriends off the internet again?
No, not Taiwanese.
Are you going for a Russian
Filipino.
bride, Filipino?
Yeah.
I see.
They're
Okay.
more desperate, you see, so I've got
Alright.
a chance.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
Did you have to put like an ad out or something saying that you had like a big knob and lots of money?
I'm not giving away my
No,
I'm not
no.
giving away my message.
Not the trade secrets.
Yeah. How
No.
dare you?
Oh no, it's fine. You can just tell me.
Look at the talent war going on between Microsoft and Sony with the PS5 and Xbox Series X, which I still think is a stupid name. But look at that. They're not giving away, their
It's a bit of a
secrets,
mouthful,
are they?
isn't it? It's a bit of a mouthful. Xbox
Xbox
Series X.
The abbreviation is, well, from what Bruno told me, the abbreviation
XSX.
is the sex. Yeah. Well, the Xbox One was the X-Bone.
X-Bone.
That was the abbreviation. So, the X-Bone, we've got the sex.
It's called this. It's called the Sex.
Well, that's the abbreviation that Bruno came up with it. I think a few others have sort of used it for Xbox for Series X, Sex.
Otherwise you'd have to call it the XSS. Oh God, XSX, wouldn't you? Which is kind of like, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of a mouthful, whatever you say, isn't it? Which I'm sure your Filipino bride will become used to getting a mouthful on regular occasions.
Maybe.
Maybe. Depends whether you like it or not.
Maybe.
Do you have up to like 30 days to return her? No questions asked.
Oh yeah. I was sure to tick that box on the terms and conditions.
Did you get a gift wrapped?
No, because that saved a bit of money.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. I suppose you knew you were getting it. There's no need to gift wrapped it for yourself, is there? Well, you enjoy, and we'll talk about. We'll move on to our actual topics and start talking about Filipino women. Yes. Good. Just wang. It's just wangs of the world all over again. But just Filipino.
Let's not start that again.
That was a good entertaining segment. That was. But anyway, so superhero games. I think it's probably best if you head this one off to begin with, because you're obviously the one with the more the passion for this idea. So I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Oh, we're doomed.
Feel free to start whenever you like.
Well, what do you want me to sort of start with?
It's your topic. You should know these things. Well, okay. So you're telling me that even though it's your idea, I have to actually think of the things that we should talk about it.
Well, you're the head. You're sort of the head. One. You're the one who gets the topic discussion juices flowing.
Am I? Okay. All right. I will let my juices flow. That's helpful. All right, then we'll So, what is your favourite superhero game?
Easily Batman Arkham Knight, because it's the ultimate, sort of Batman fantasy simulation. Because like a big thing with superhero games is, of course, it's the closest you'll actually get to actually being, your favourite superheroes.
Well, yes.
Like with Spider-Man, it's the closest you actually get to web swinging through New York. As the Hulk, it's the closest you get to smashing everything. As Batman, it's the closest you get to gliding around Gotham, diving into the Batmobile, and then chasing thugs down, dark, rainy streets.
You say that, but then again, you have to remember there are people out there who have actually generally tried to do these things, and it's often gone catastrophically wrong.
Oh yeah, there's often like some kind of news story about guy dressed up as Batman tries to break into Buckingham Palace.
Or I'm
actually joking. That's actually happened more than once.
This guy has deliberately tried to web swing down his street, and he's horribly died because he's fucking.
I haven't heard about that. I've heard about ones dressed as Batman trying to like climb into a window of Buckingham Palace.
I'm sure someone's tried to like web swing on some ropes or something. I'm sure there's like there's like 8 billion people in the world. There's got to be a few idiots out there that's done it. It's
just a few.
But anyway, you say Arkham Knight then is your top.
I'll say
pick.
Arkham Knight is definitely my top superhero game. I understand why people would say Arkham City, because I know the Batmobile's like massively divisive, but as far as I'm concerned, the Batmobile is the cherry on the top that pushed Arkham Knight, from a gameplay perspective, definitely above the previous already amazing games in the Arkham series.
Fair enough. Okay, my favourite. Well, I feel like in my head I'm approaching this question as like, what is my favourite Batman game? But obviously it's not that question, is it? It's what's your favourite superhero game? And I think I'd have to. Oh dear, this is gonna.
Well, you could sort of. How about this? What would be your favourite superhero game for a DC character, and what would be your favourite for a Marvel?
Oh well, I I thought we're talking about. Well, aren't we talking about our favourite games that are already out at this point? Because I could.
Yeah, we are.
I have got one, but I'm not sure if it'll be controversial. You see.
What would be your favourite DC or favourite Marvel?
Well, favourite superhero game rather than I'm not brandishing between. You know, where you going to? You know, are you separating yours into two different categories, or are you just going for a whole?
Well, like you said that you almost ended up just thinking about what's your favourite Batman game. I thought maybe it'd be easier to separate them, so then you can have your favourite Batman game, which would almost tend to be your favourite DC one, and then you've got the other one where you get to think outside of just Batman.
Well, I guess, but I mean, it's you know, the only reason it's because there's more Batman superhero games than there are other games is the only reason we think about that.
Outside of Spider-Man. But
I would tie up and say it and I'm hoping that I don't get, you know, made single for this by my very hardcore DC fan girlfriend / fiance. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna tie Arkham Knight with Spider-Man PS4.
I was waiting for that. I think a lot of people would, especially if you're going about ones that came out on Xbox One and PS4.
Arkham Knight is a very, very, very good game, and I don't take anything away. I agree with everything you said. I'm not going to repeat what you said because it's just me saying the same things you've said. But at the same time, Spider-Man PS4 is an astoundingly great game as well, and it was. I remember when we first saw like the free trailer for it, we both thought that looks absolutely amazing, especially when you saw the web swinging.
When he was parkouring through that cafe and then web swung. Like, we both actually did a round of applause because that was just something that you've never seen before in a Spider-Man game, and it was so Spider-Man.
Well, it was very nostalgic of the old Spider-Man games where you used to web swing around New York. But if you go back and ever actually look at some of the old footage now, you realise just how basic it was. But it's kind of weird when you go back and...
Spider-Man Web of Shadows, which I've said, because when PS4 came out, a lot of ones I went back and looked at the older Spider-Man games. Web of Shadows, which was probably like the last proper Spider-Man game before PS4, that actually holds up pretty well, and there's actually a lot of like depth and complexity to both the combat and the web swinging. But I agree with the ones before that. I'd say like Spider-Man 2, that sort of hasn't got much to it. Spider-Man 3, the game for the first film definitely doesn't.
The funny thing is you look back in our memories. Obviously, we imagine the old game as being like Spider-Man PS4 in our remastered minds. But then you go back and you look at it, and it's just like a very blurry Spider-Man swinging around a bunch of grey blocks with just yellow squares for windows on them. And that's their
representation. Spider-Man PS4 is definitely the best New York City we've ever gotten in a Spider-Man game.
Well, I think it's the best New York City we've got in any game.
They probably used the PS4's power to good use for that.
I think it's the best New York I've seen in any game. Not that I've seen New York in many games, I suppose, but I mean, I think it is. I mean, but I list it as top just because the game's got it's got a really great story, it's got great characters, the acting's really good, the world is great, as you said, the web swinging is really great as well, but it's also got great combat and stealth things to add on to that. It's got a great mix of everything, and obviously I hope they do push on and add more into that story. Hopefully you'll be hoping that they make it cross-platform as well.
I'm not. Yeah, okay. Because that is like I've said before. That is one of the few PS4 exclusives I'm actually like
annoyed about.
You motherfuckers. I think I've said before. I'm not too bothered about like Uncharted and that, but Spider-Man PS4, because it's Spider-Man.
Because it was
outside of Batman.
Yeah, because it was
Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character.
It was made by fucking hell, who made it now?
Insomniac.
Of course, yes, who made Ratchet and Clank, which once again they're very tied in with Sony as a whole. Insomniac, aren't they?
They also did Sunset Overdrive, which was an Xbox One exclusive, which Bruno loves.
We've all heard of that masterpiece, and everyone's still playing it. Wasn't that like the game they continue?
Bruno in the comments now.
That was like the game they continuously advertised the Xbox with. And every fucking advert, it was just Sunset Overdrive. It just sounded like a fucking kind of like name for an energy drink more than the actual game.
It's a really weird, kooky, cartoony game.
It's very weird to choose that as your, advertising launch title, as which is what did the PlayStation have as a launch title? I really struggle to remember now. I think it had like
Infamous Second Son, Killzone Shadowfall.
Look at those two compared to Sunset Overdrive. Christ, so you got like a really great looking first person shooter, then you got Infamous Second Son, which is like a massive open world and great story to go along with that as well.
Both of those games to this day look insane visually. Like, my God, I remember when Second Son was like the best looking game I've ever seen.
Let's just put it like this: whenever these days, do you ever hear someone go, "Oh, you know what? I feel like I'm going to play Sunset Overdrive. That's a great game."
No.
Never. It was a launch title that seemed to disappear as quickly as the Xbox launched, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
Also, Shadowfall and Infamous Second Son. Let's be honest, a lot of launch titles just sort of, they're great when they first launch, and then they just sort of fade by the wayside.
Well, I do see
Uncharted 1, Halo 1, but other than games like that,
I do see a lot of people calling for like another Infamous game though. Obviously, we know that Killzone's probably not going to happen because they went on to make Horizon Zero Dawn instead.
And the sequel that's like coming in like the next year or so.
Yeah, which I'm sure will be a great game as well. But yeah, it's good. What were we talking about? I've forgotten.
We weren't talking about superhero games.
Yeah.
We were talking about, like you were saying about Spider-Man PS4, and then we went on about like Insomniac and then Sunset Overdrive.
Yes.
And then
alright, we're back on topic then. So let's do games we'd like to see. Now, for our listeners / viewers, whoever you want to be called as or identify as, I don't. No one can if you identify as a listener or not. We're going to talk about now is games that we'd like to see. Now, this could be a superhero game that has had no coverage at all. Say, for example, someone wanted to make a for example, someone wanted to make a Shazam game. I don't know, for example, okay? Something that has not been done. Or we could talk about a game within a franchise or by a character that we've already seen. So, for example, Alex could say, I'd like to see another Spider-Man game across platform. So that's kind of the basis we're going for here. So it's not limited to things that either exist or don't exist. So I'm going to go first because honestly I struggled, as you know, to think of anything for this.
Well, I think to be fair, your sort of like superhero knowledge isn't quite as big as mine.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's. I wouldn't say it's a lack of knowledge so much as a lack of interest.
Yeah.
I'd say when I told Isabel about the idea, she said, "Well, you're just not much of a superhero nerd, are you?" I was like, "Well, no, not really."
Yeah.
I like Batman and Spider-Man, but I don't tend to go too far out of that. I don't mind watching things. Like, if I see random clips on YouTube of just random like shows, I might just watch it because if I find it interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't really go out of my way to watch it. But then I don't really watch a lot
You're not like me where you're like binge watching like 5 seasons.
But that's not necessarily because I don't like comic stuff. I don't binge watch anything. I don't really watch things. I get very bored watching movies or TV or anything like that. I used to a lot, but I get bored because I much prefer playing games and actually doing stuff. I don't really like sitting there just watching it. If it's something that I really want to see, like when me and Isabel binge watched the entire Witcher Netflix series over like 2 days, and we stayed up to like 4 a.m. watching just like 5 episodes in a row. That was fine. And if it was like, when me and you go to the cinema and we watch Star Wars or a James Bond movie or whatever, I'm perfectly fine watching things I want to see. But I don't actually go out of my way to watch things on Netflix, or it's just not really what I'm into. I get bored. I get bored watching things. So I'll go first then anyway, because like I said, I know you've got more. The game I would like to see, and I know this is probably not that interesting, but I would like to see a sequel to the Arkham Origins storyline.
I think a lot of people will. A lot of people said they could have easily done another couple of Origins
What?
games that could show like Bruce meeting Dick Grayson and showing Two-Face's origin and all that stuff.
Well, I think there's still plenty of room for them to do that, and according to everyone else, Rocksteady's working on another Batman game, so who knows what that's going to be.
We don't know what Rocksteady's doing. I think the next Batman game that's been all but confirmed is by the Origins team, but we have no idea what Rocksteady's up to.
Yeah,
there weren't loads of rumors they were doing a Superman game, but they completely debunked that.
Yeah.
I don't know what Rocksteady are doing.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm interested to see if, obviously, like you said, if WB are making another Arkham Origins, because I really liked Arkham Origins. I know some people didn't.
It has one problem. It's the only Arkham sequel, which you can technically call a sequel since it came out after Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. It's the only one that didn't have a massive gameplay overhaul, because look at the amount of additions from Arkham Asylum to Arkham City, and again Arkham Knight to from Arkham City to Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
From Arkham City to Arkham Origins, they didn't add much, and I can understand that criticism. But at the same time, Arkham City's gameplay is so rock solid. I have no problem playing another game that's basically Arkham City again, because it's got a bigger world, it's got a different vibe to it. It being a prequel to the others makes the whole world and the whole status quo, like Batman being hunted by the GCPD and all that makes it feel different, even though as a game it's very, very similar.
And also you have the case of saying you can't add something to it being a prequel, because then you have to explain why it wasn't in the other games. So that's why,
Maybe
you can't...
a bit of that anyway, with the grapnel boost. People moan about that, but then they want whole new combat moves and that, and you're like, really? You moan about this little thing? If they added all this, you'd shit yourself.
Yeah, no, you can't, like when we had the, was it the remote claw, was it called?
Yeah.
When that was obviously overpowered as hell, because you could just sit up in a room and you could just take out everyone in a room by just launching them up to viewpoints or gargoyles or whatever. And then obviously they removed that from the game and just give it an excuse saying Batman thought it was too easy. That's why he doesn't use it in the other games, because he thought it was too easy. He likes the challenge. And, if you add too much to it, then you kind of... you have to explain why it wasn't in the other ones. I think Arkham Origins was a really good game. It had a really great story as well. A really great story, especially that dynamic between Batman and Alfred and their kind of relationship throughout the... how it becomes with Alfred being, so very much...
And it delved into Joker's obsession with Batman, in a way, because when Batman saves him in the... Gotham Royal Hotel, Joker from that moment is just completely confused and infatuated with Batman.
Yeah, and then we get to see, obviously, we get introduced to Dr. Harley and Quinzel at one point.
Yeah.
What, a couple of different
points.
points.
The Red Hood incident when Joker falls into the vat of chemicals.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of it, obviously,
God, I want to play Arkham Origins right now.
Oh, there's a lot of there's a lot of different things explored in there, but obviously I think one of the best things, like I was saying, is the relationship between Batman and Alfred, because normally in the other games, Alfred had only been a voice in Arkham City at that point. He wasn't even in Origins. I mean Asylum. He was obviously it was only Oracle in Asylum, and then you get Alfred as well, and then it was very good to see this whole relationship, because you start out the game with Alfred being very opposed to this whole idea of Batman and Bruce Wayne still doing this, and then obviously as the story develops, you get this massive train of just different arguments between them, and you see the relationship develop, and Alfred develop more of an understanding of why Bruce does what he does, and also Bruce developing an understanding of why he can't do it on his own, and how and obviously that comes to a point when spoilers, by the way, but then again you should have played it by now. Spoilers when Bane temporarily kills Alfred and then you revive him.
Yeah.
And then obviously we have this big moment when Bruce finally realizes that he, as Batman says, is a man, not an island.
Yeah.
And Alfred understands why Bruce does what he does, and then you sort of, you know, you get this.
That's also the catalyst for his relationship with Commissioner Gordon, which is always one of these, which is one of the most iconic sort of relationships in comic books. Where you could see, if you did a sequel, they could easily like show, like Bruce and Commissioner Gordon sort of earning their trust for each other, and that because like by Arkham Asylum, they're like full on.
Well, yes, and
full on partners, isn't it?
That is a good. I mean, that is a good point. By that is obviously 10 years into Batman's career, obviously. So there's a huge gap between the 1 year in Origins and the 10 years in by Asylum. So there's a lot of space in there you can fill. And obviously by the end of Origins itself, you know, their relationship has improved, even though you know, he still got to arrest him. You know, and obviously Barbara Gordon's in it as well, in her, you know, fully working spine at this time. That could be explored as well. You know, it could be, you could have Batgirl, you know, appear. You could, there's so many different avenues you could go down, isn't there? Really, with it, so many different you know, relationships you can do with heroes, anti-heroes, and obviously you can carry on from Arkham Origins Blackgate as well, which is kind of a sequel to it, I suppose, but you know, in a sort of way, it does carry on from the main story. Have you ever played it or not?
I never played it. They never released it on have they done a 360 or PS3 port? I can't remember.
It's been
I don't know if
released.
they've done a 360 or PS3 port of it, because I know
PS3
it
has.
beat.
The PS3's got, that's what I played it on. PS3's got a version. It's 2.5.
I don't think it's backwards compatible, otherwise I would definitely have played it then.
It's 2.5D anyway, and it's kind of like a side-scrolling thing, but sort of kind of 3D. But I guess the more parts from the stories, and it carries on about I think 6 months after Arkham Origins story. And it follows mainly you meet Selina Kyle, Catwoman, in the story, so that's their relationship begins there, and you also have other encounters with Penguin and Black Mask and so on and so forth. But it builds a lot more on that as well, and we're introduced to a possibility of something that I would like to see explored in the sequel, which is that of Suicide Squad. Cause,
there was an animated movie called Batman Assault on Arkham, which takes
there is, I know.
They could tie in.
Yeah, I know. I think I've seen some of that.
After the film, it's massive now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the you know, that, you know, the animated movie you're talking about. You can probably find it on YouTube if anyone's interested. But yeah, so obviously Endgame credits from Origins, you see Deathstroke being offered by Amanda Waller to go work for her. Blackgate as well, I think she gets Deadshot in that one, and Selina Kyle's also working for them at that point, but in a kind of not the same way as the other ones. So I think that's where they have to go for it next, is Batman going after Suicide Squad and everything else going, you know, because the whole idea at the end of Blackgate, he throws a little tracker and it lands on the helicopter of like Amanda Waller as they're leaving. So the idea is being implied that he's tracking them and trying to find out what it was, and I think obviously throughout the Justice League cartoons and that you know, there's been a lot of involvement, some often directly weird competition between Batman and Amanda Waller for some reason of one-upping each
There's
other.
There's a lot of that in Arrow as well, like Argus, which is Waller's Law, is a massive like player in seasons 2, 3 and 4 of Arrow.
There's a lot of funny clips of it in Justice League where she's like in her bathroom having a shower and Batman just appears and scares the crap out of her, and then it's just like they're constantly trying to one-up each other, and you know, obviously that's also done in Telltale as well. They covered Amanda Waller and all that stuff, so yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of a scope for
there's a lot of stuff you could definitely do with that.
So
like you said, there's like 9 years or that between Origins and Asylum. You could do so much stuff. You could just do so much, as long as it fits with the Rocksteady trilogy. You can just go nuts with anything.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see, you know, because even I mean, we know because obviously for Arkham Knight we had the Matter of Family DLC, didn't we? Which is set before Asylum and features Tim Drake and Barbara Gordon. So obviously we know Batgirl is a continuous thing up until not long before Asylum. So at some point between A Matter of Family and Asylum, she obviously gets shot and the Killing Joke will occur. So we know that throughout that, between those 10 years, we've gone through having Dick Grayson, we've gone through having Jason Todd, and then we're on to Tim Drake, and Batgirl's been throughout all of that. So, there's plenty of scope. You can go down all those different characters. You could, it'd be great also if, they managed to link all the Red Hood stuff in with Jason Todd being left in the abandoned wing of Arkham and you trying to find him and not being able to find him or something, and it links into... And then obviously having played the later games, you know where he was all the time. So it'd be good to, to see that, or to be able to, go through that.
Yep.
So I'll let you talk about yours now, because I've been talking for like 15 minutes. So.
That's all right. I have two ideas. One is a Green Arrow game, primarily because it probably play very similar to like the Arkham games. But I think they could take some elements from sort of Splinter Cell, like the newer Splinter Cell games, which I think would be quite cool. Since Green Arrow isn't as gadget heavy as like Batman, and that it's mostly just him and his bow and arrow, of course. I think you do some quite interesting stuff with Green Arrow, and also imagine a Wonder Woman game, but in the style of like God of War.
Okay. I'm trying to imagine it.
That's the thing that people have said about for years.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman games.
When you say in the style of God of War, do you mean the newer version of God of War when it's an over-the-shoulder third person, or the older style of God of War when it's camera out and a lot more action and gore and stuff? See, there's a decision now.
I think this sort of old. I think both could kind of work, but I'm leaning more towards the older ones more.
Okay.
Well, you played God of War. Which style?
Well, I've
which
played
do
all
you
of
think
them.
would work out better?
I would prefer to see it in the newer God of War engine. But that's only because I prefer the newer God of War. I mean, I don't have anything wrong with the way that the other God of War games played. They played great, but I feel like that kind of style of game of being out and having just button combos and to do different sort of things like that is kind of not a thing anymore. Games these days are
games, really.
it's all over. I mean, obviously the Batman games are kind of like it, but it's in a very controlled manner, the Batman games, whereas the old God of War style was very big and open and very hack and slashy. Whereas this time, the modern God of War is an over-shoulder fixed sort of position and a much more methodical and way of fighting, and I think that would suit it more because it also, appeal to her abilities and weapons, if you like. But yeah, you carry on.
Well, there wasn't really much else to say. I just think loads of ones have said about it for ages, and when you sort of think about Wonder Woman, it's all like the Greek mythology and like gods and demigods and like Amazon warriors charging in on horseback, and like we've seen in the Wonder Woman film, and we kind of saw in Justice League, and we're going to see in the Snyder Cut, and that I just think that would just make for a really big, epic, fun game.
Can we get crossover if they're going to be can we have?
There was actually a sort of rumour not too long ago when the Rocksteady Superman rumours are going around that they were going to combine the Arkham-style gameplay for Batman, whatever Rocksteady was doing with Superman, and the God of War-style Wonder Woman game into a Trinity sort of big game, which was then going to lead into some kind of Justice League game. Because there was also rumours about a Flash game as well.
I mean, can we have some God of War crossover with a possible Wonder Woman Greek game though, That's what we want to know.
I don't see why not, because we've had Final Fantasy cross with Assassin's Creed Origins, so I don't see why not.
Can we have they're running on their horse, and all of a sudden Kratos barges on, rips one of their heads off, and just goes Ares for no reason at all, and then punches someone's eyes out or something.
Well, Ares is a prominent Wonder Woman villain.
True, but true, and Kratos is against him after a certain point, and does kill that version of him, but it's a slightly different version to the one that obviously Wonder Woman comes up against Ares with a moustache at some point, doesn't she?
Yeah, in the film.
With his tash. Yeah, I still find that funny because he looked like the most unassuming villain in the world, didn't he? I guess it was.
That's kind of like.
I guess it was the point.
That's kind of intentional because.
Well, yeah, I know.
It's sort of generic to him for him under the helmet to have been just black with red eyes.
What I would have liked is if he'd have torn off the moustache and then she'd gone, "It's Ares," just like it was the only thing that was keeping him completely hidden, kind of like a Clark Kent suit, like a glasses thing. He just takes off the moustache and all of a sudden it's revealed that he is Ares, god of war.
Ares Ares gets enough hate as it is in the Wonder Woman film, so let's just go easy on him a bit for the moustache.
And his tash, yeah. He did have a good tash though, that was on point.
Yeah.
And the ability to dissolve swords with his hands.
Yeah, and ability to like melt metal with just his bare fingers.
Exactly. Good. But that tash though, top notch.
That tash, right? This fight is spectacular and all, and Gal Gadot looks amazing. But that tash though,
yeah, it's got a good moustache there, hasn't he? Yeah, very British. But anyway, so I'd be interesting to see if there was some sort of weird crossover. I don't know. But yeah, obviously, I imagine the Greek world of Wonder Woman is largely different to the Greek world of God of War. Well, I say Greek world, what's left of it anyway. Not much is left of it. Not by the end of God of War 3, when you're killing everyone in the world, just getting consumed by storms and plagues and giant tsunamis. That's
probably happened in a Wonder Woman comic sometime.
Literally, because that's all that happens in God of War 3, because as you kill each one of the major gods, whatever they represent as a god sort of happens the bad things. So once you kill Poseidon, a giant tsunami just comes over Greece, and then once you kill Christ, I can't remember gods' names now, this is not good, is it? When you kill all the different gods anyway, I can't remember all their names, but when you kill the different kinds of gods, their various things happen. So there's not much left, which I think is why Kratos left. There wasn't much of Greece to leave. I think there wasn't anything there for him anyway. Poor Kratos. And what was your other idea for a game?
I told the two. There was Green Arrow, and then
the Green Arrow one. So when you say,
I do kind of also think that an Injustice style thing with Marvel characters would be kind of cool to see, just because Injustice is just both really good and really successful. But I also kind of feel like that'd be a bit too much of like just copying Injustice in a way. And plus, Marvel vs. Capcom exists.
I know, and you can play as Okami, and you can beat people up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Marvel vs. Capcom will exist, but you did beat me to it. But I'm interested to say, when you say you wanted a Green Arrow game to be like a modern Splinter Cell game, so one of the
more modern Splinter Cells. I just think like Conviction, like the sort of style on that would work quite well for a Green Arrow game.
Well, obviously that was further improved on for Blacklist. So what you're wanting is a sort of semi-open structure to levels where you can easily mix up between open combat and stealth. And,
because
and lots of climbing aspects as well.
Yeah, because like an open world thing for Green, like a proper like Arkham City and that open world thing, I don't think would work that well. Green Arrow, primarily because Star City isn't as iconic as Gotham or even like Metropolis. But like you said, it's sort of like open, like sort of being like these sort of hubs and that, where like these multi-leveled like these rooms, like these big areas that are like multiple levels and
lots
all
of
these
different
rooms and like vents and stuff. I
Yeah.
think you could do a lot of like quite neat stuff with Green Arrow if you did a game that was structured like that.
Yeah. Well, Ubisoft are generally quite good at doing that sort of thing. So, I mean, not that they would get the license to make a Green Arrow game, obviously, but I'm just, I'm just as an example. But yeah, I think that's probably it for our superhero talk then.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else you want to add.
I have nothing else to
Fair
add.
enough. So, all right then, let's move on to our very brief comments. Comments of the week. That's the new intro.
I keep trying to get Bruno to comment, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will now.
Bruno's.
Do you want me to
He had some
inspire
really
him?
good ideas in the past about like superhero games and what they could do with some characters and that. And I said to him, feel free to go nuts in the comments, and he said he will. So we might actually have some really good comments.
Shall we inspire him to comment by saying something controversial?
Okay, it depends how controversial. I might have to disagree. Or let's see, go on.
Sunset Overdrive was a complete waste of time.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Well, I know, but Bruno might feel he might send an angry comment now.
It's this stupid juvenile cartoony. Anyway,
let's see if Bruno comments now. Thank you, Bruno, for your comment. So yeah, we've got some.
You guys got Spider-Man. We got that crap. Like, come on.
I know.
Jesus.
I feel bad for you. So anyway, yes, comments of the week. So this is the section where we read your comments from either on the podcast or elsewhere on the channel. And yeah, that's kind of it, really. Sad to say, I did not have any entries from the Show Us Your Wang contest that I left at the end of last week's podcast. I was hoping that I was going to get a picture of Bruno's wang, but apparently he didn't want to show me his wang. I might message him later and ask him if I can see his wang. Maybe his wang is too far up Sunset Overdrive to be seen. Who knows? We'll find out. We're just trying to bait him into making comments now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
I think my thing about the game idea is going to be more successful, though.
Well, who knows? Yeah. I don't know what to say. Just
I know you got one comment again about your Wi-Fi thing. I saw that.
Yes. People, I appreciate the fact that people are using me as a source of info about the 4G Wi-Fi, but please try to keep the comments on the right videos and don't come onto the podcast and ask me about it, because I will just kind of ignore you. Like I ignore some of the other comments that I get on there because they're just so ridiculously asked questions sometimes. But yeah, I've got a few comments to read out anyway. Starting off with my most recent vlog, which was unboxing Amazon packages and scratch cards, which is what I called it, a day in the lockdown vlog, which I came up with randomly that day, which I thought worked quite well, actually. I was going to say day in the life in lockdown, and I couldn't talk and just said day in the lockdown, and it worked quite well, so I ran with it. And this is from a comment from a guy who I see quite regularly on commenting on videos. He's called Old Nerd Playing Old PC Games. And I think his channel, from what I've checked it out, and that's pretty accurate. And he's left a comment just saying, big like from the old nerd, thumbs up, keep it up. And he's also left various comments on other things as well. We have another comment on this video from a person called Arena. She said she loved it. Thank you, Arena.
Girl.
Wait, hold on a second. Hey, whoa there, cowboy. It's 2020. Did you just presume she's a girl? Oh dear.
Maybe.
This is not good. You're going to be strung up in the arena for your crimes against gender politics, you bastard.
Am I now officially cancelled by Twitter?
Possibly. But if you drive 200 miles to go get your eyes checked, I'll forgive you. Okay. Get it. Politics. See? Did you? I mean, I know you understood that, but did everyone else? Do you think? Maybe they did. Now Alex is making cow noises again for some reason.
No, that was me really deep thinking.
Okay. So going back to other comments, old nerd playing old PC games also left a big like on the other podcast we just did recently, and yeah, there was yeah, that's kind of it really for the comments. Thank you all.
Every time we ask for comments and we don't get many.
Well, you know,
it's kind of deflating, really, isn't it?
Well, yes. Welcome to YouTube. Deflating as it always is. But yeah, thank you for those of you who have left you know your nice comments. It's very nice. Alex, can you stop crying?
Okay.
Thank you. So this is almost as bad as what you were doing at the beginning of last week's podcast when you went be quiet for like 10 minutes. Now the whole entry of last week's podcast is me telling you to shut up for 10 minutes. But basically, yes, so those are this week's comments. If you want to leave a comment, then do. Please do it. Please leave a comment so I have something to read. It could be about anything. It can... You know, well, yeah, it can be about anything. It can be on any video.
Anything and everything.
Not the 4G Wi-Fi though. Just not that. If you have a question,
Ben has officially barred people from asking questions about that.
If you do, well, not completely. If you have a question about it, just leave it on the actual free 4G Wi-Fi videos there are. I do see every comment that arrives on them, and most of them I will respond to. You know, it's hard to now. After the 24,000 views and the several hundred comments, I am answering the same questions a lot of the time, but I will do it if it helps people. I don't mind. So, yeah. Pretty good. Thank you as well. We have hit 160 subscribers now. Which I'm pretty sure in last week's podcast I said thanks for 150, didn't I?
Yeah, I said it. No, I think I said you've reached 150 subscribers, and you said 151.
Ah, well there you go. They're all on 161, I think. Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure. I can double check that. I haven't bothered to look today, to be honest. Because oh no, 162. I was wrong.
Oh my god.
That's good. But yeah. So it's time then, Ward, for the Plat Chat.
Here we go.
The best part of the show. It's the part where we talk about our platinums and achievements, and Alex starts singing again for some reason.
I have no achievements to talk about, so.
Oh, that's really that's really helpful, isn't it? Well, then for you, it can be a section where you talk about whatever game you've been playing. But for me, oh, for the love of God, this can be.
I've been watching a
fine.
I've been watching.
For this section, Alex, this can be a section where you talk about the games you're going to play in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, you can talk about the Mafia 2.
I'm going to. Trust me, I'm going to.
Being the best game you've ever played.
It is actually, you know, it is. It's actually, no, it's the best. It's probably the best well-engineered game I've come across, actually.
Yeah, you've never played a game that's been so perfectly polished.
No, it's...
Like GTA 5, that glitchy piece of shit can get out of here.
I know.
It's Mafia 2, that is where it's at.
Last of Us Part 2, I mean, that's... Had they even bothered to make it look good? I don't think so. Not as good as Mafia 2 remastered. Definitely not.
No.
You know, and yes, for the love of God, someone fix Mafia 2, please.
Yeah, but at least it's like this big, like, widespread thing for once. It's not just, you know.
Well, true.
It's not just like, oh, I've had these problems in a few people. There's actually been like proper big 15-minute videos from prominent YouTube channels doing videos on it.
So anyway, let's get on. So from last week's Plat Chat, I believe I left it saying that I was playing Odyssey. And I was going for the platinum on that, which I did obtain about 10 days ago now, by going through all the DLC, and it was not too bad in the end. Getting all those ship upgrades took a little bit of time, and doing all the underwater locations did, but not as bad as the Origins ones that I'm going to have to do as well. So no. And then I just thought, I know what I'll do. Mafia 2 Remastered's just come out. That looks like a great game. I'll buy it. And then it all went downhill from there.
Buyer's remorse.
Well, in all honesty, I haven't had as many bad glitches as what other people have had. I've had the same sort of things.
It's just dog.
Yeah, some people are falling through the floors. Some people are just not having any facial animations. It's quite funny. I haven't had anything like that. The most extent that I've gotten to on mine is simply lag. Things popping in, like the grass only spawning where you are and growing as you walk along. Which I think is just the magical powers of Vito Scaletta, to be honest, and his Italianness. As Bruno, I'm sure, will know, Italians have the power to make grass grow.
Yep.
Exactly. I'm sure he'll comment that. But yeah, so I haven't had. It's only been lag and things like that I haven't really had anything else. There was a weird game breaking glitch, but I figured out a way around that one. So that wasn't too much of an issue afterwards. But then, pretty much after I'd gone through one thing of thinking that the game was unplayable for me, I'd finally figured it out and I'd solved it, and I was like, yes, now I can go on and get the platinum. And I decided to have a look at the trophy list and then found out that one of the trophies is bloody glitched as well. And that is one trophy.
That's amazing.
It's a trophy which you probably already know. It's called the Enforcer, which is for killing 50 enemies. Now this is a very basic trophy. The game has about 12 chapters, and you should be getting this at about 3 chapters in after you've had a couple gunfights. You know? It should be absolute basic, and this by now I should have had.
It's a game where you shoot. It's a game where you can shoot people, so you will get this.
It's a game. It's a game.
Should not be anything stopping you from getting this.
It's a game that goes between driving to places, having gunfights, more drivey bits, gunfights. It's pretty much what happens in the game. But there is obviously other stuff. But you know, that is the only thing now stopping me from getting the platinum. I got everything else, even all the added extra wanted posters that the developers stuck in and didn't bother to tell anyone about. I've even got all them, because obviously I don't know if you know, but obviously the collectibles, they have the Playboy magazines, but then they also have wanted posters. In the original game, the wanted posters were just actually pictures of the developers that made the game, and you have to go around and find them. So obviously the people that have made the remaster put themselves into the game, so these extra 30 people are all the people that made the remaster, which is kind of ironic in a way, because what they've done is given the game base a list of people to hunt. Really, because now they've gone. I see a lot of comments on people saying, at least now I get to go around and collect pictures of the people that ruined the game I loved. So it's kind of funny now that they've kind of put their names and their faces on it as a kind of we're doing this, and then the game's kind of broken at the same time. So annoying. There is talk though. The guy who is in charge of that of Hangar 13, which is actually a subsidiary of 2K, by the way. It's actually one of 2K's studios. They actually made Mafia 3, which is actually, even though a lot of people complain about it, I actually really liked Mafia 3 and I didn't have any problems with it. So,
they're also the ones that are handling the full-on remake for Mafia 1.
That looks good so far. Hopefully it won't have any of, because it's more of a up from the ground up remake than an actual
They always
remaster.
get more attention than the remasters do. Proper remakes do.
So the guy who's in charge of Hangar 13 Studios anyway has sent many tweets out deliberately acknowledging that it exists and that his team of developers are looking into it. But at the moment, as I stand, both trophies for the Platinum and the Enforced trophy are on 0% on PlayStation's attained rate, and it's the same on Xbox. So yeah, they're glitched. Crappy. And as a result of that, I didn't even bother to go for the DLC trophy, because one, the DLC trophies are ridiculous, and two, I just have no interest in them now at all. Like
they may be glitched as well.
One of these trophies is drive a total of 1,000 miles in DLC vehicles. Now that is a huge amount of miles for a game that, for doing everything in that entire game, getting everything to get to the platinum, even driving around the entire map, getting 189 wanted posters. I didn't do more than 200 miles in total. I think it took me around about 4 hours of continuous driving just to get to the 50-mile trophy that you need to get in one vehicle. So God knows how long it'd take to actually get 1,000 miles. I mean,
a lot of grinding.
I'd have to leave it on with like a rubber band over the accelerator overnight and just hope that he drives around enough and doesn't just crash into a wall or something somewhere, you know? Because I just don't know how I'd do it myself, and just, yeah, it's just stupid. So I came out of that, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll order 2 games from CEX. Great.
Oh, there we go.
I'll order Origins, because I sold Assassin's Creed Origins a while back, unfortunately, when I was unemployed. And now I'm not unemployed, well, temporarily at the moment. Who knows what's going to fuck happen with this country.
Who the hell? No one's going to happen.
But yeah, I decided I'd rebuy back Origins because I platinumed Odyssey, and I'd get the platinum for Origins. So that was great. I thought, this time I won't buy it digitally. I want to own the disc. So I'll go on CEX or SEX, and I will buy that and the Ezio collection so I can get the platinums for those. Fantastic. So the parcel arrives, and what happens? There's no fucking discs in the game boxes. I've literally got 2 cases sitting here of just for that game. So I emailed CEX, and they're sending me 2 more copies of the game. So at least I'm getting something, hopefully, unless these ones turn up with no discs as well. In which case I'll just amass a large collection of Odyssey and Ezio, of Origins and Ezio collection boxes from all the different copies that CEX keeps sending me with no fucking discs in them. That's my rant over about CEX. But yeah, so I did that, and then after that I thought, fuck it, then I'll just download the digital version. Lo and behold, the day before that, Assassin's Creed Origins Deluxe Edition had gone on offer for PlayStation Plus members, which meaning normally it was £62 on the PlayStation Store. Huh? Oh? Are you here, Ward?
Yeah, my Wi-Fi cut out for
yeah,
a second.
Yes, it did.
On my Xbox, which I've got to sit here, it's fine, but on my phone it just cut out for a second.
Yes, it kind of went awkward, very very silent in my room there on the microphone, which I'm leaving in, by the way, because I can't be bothered to trawl through an hour's worth of footage to find it and delete it out. So there you go, it's still here. But yeah, so normally on the PlayStation Store, Origins Deluxe Edition is £62. And I picked up for £12. So I think that's quite a good deal.
Massive sale on Xbox as well.
I think it's quite a good deal.
Yeah, especially since Origins is a fucking masterpiece.
It came with
the second best Assassin's Creed.
So it came with the season. It came with the season pass, even though I already had access to all the DLC anyway because I got it originally. Yeah. So I would have had, but obviously for £12, pretty good still. I downloaded it. I downloaded it in a couple of hours. 55 gigabytes later. And yeah, it was. I've been playing it ever since. I've been going through that. I've got all the Hidden Ones DLC trophies. I did all the stupid Discovery Tour trophies. Fucking boring ass piece of crap.
Yeah, I only did that for the achievements. There aren't achievements in Odyssey has the Discovery Tour, but there aren't achievements for it.
They're very unassuming,
I don't think you can get a fancy skin like you do in the Origins one.
I don't know. They're very unassuming names for the trophies. You got the one for just complete one Discovery Tour. All right, that sounds all right. Do the ones with 5 different characters. All right, and then you have the very unassuming one. Just do all the ones in the daily life category, and you think, well, daily life, it's got to be what, going up, going to work. It's only got to be about 5, and you get on there, and there's fucking like 30 of them. And you just got to sit there, and I didn't even bother listening to the stuff. I ran from checkpoint to checkpoint and immediately skipped what the guy was saying in his stupid American voice, and then moved on to the next one. I've got some weird narrator voices doing them that don't even sound like normal people. It's just like, The ancient Egyptian people, they used to pull each other's brains out with little things when they got mummified. And then they go through this process.
Yeah,
And it's boring. It's so boring. And actually quite gruesome in parts as well. I was sitting here going through the mummification process, watching some guy pull out someone's guts out of his stomach, and I'm trying to sit here eating me fucking Maltesers. Thinking, okay, this is kind of putting me off my Maltesers now. So yeah, I got all them. I got all the hidden ones. Because actually I had a problem when I first went through the DLC for this game, as you well know. Well, I played through both DLCs back in 2018, and I didn't get any trophies because for some reason all of my trophies glitched on me. But I can now happily report that I now have every DLC trophy apart from the one to getting to level 55, which I'm only 2 levels away, so I'm assuming that one will come to me naturally. So I've now got all of those finally. I spent many times doing the what's it called? It was the one for Curse of the Pharaohs was called Sting in the Tail, which is complete the 5 circuit locations,
scorpion things,
which are actually over leveled to hell. So if anyone's out there and they're thinking, I'm quite a few levels behind what's needed to do these circuit locations, very simple way of doing this. In the afterlife, your arrows replenish themselves. Get on top of something, get a predator bow out, and shoot the scorpion until it dies. And if you run out of ammo, just wait 10 seconds and you'll get more ammo automatically. Rinse and repeat this until all scorpions are dead. And also make sure you get the shards from them so you can craft a weapon out of it for the other trophy. Or craft an upgrade out of it anyway. Star shards or whatever they're called. So yes, that was an interesting one. I've got all of them. My trophies left for Origins. I've got to bring a tamed lion to a crocodile for a date. Just haven't done that one. I've got to kill a poisoned level 35 enemy with a torch in less than 30 seconds. Which is, I don't know, that's going to be some sort
I didn't remember that one.
It's going to be a weird one. It's called
Like the taking a tamed lion to a crocodile. That's like the only time I ever tamed an animal in Origins.
It's called Over Design, that trophy. I've got one called Boom, which is for killing 30 enemies for shooting fire arrows at oil jars.
Oh yeah, that's one that I'll confess I grinded out quite a bit as early as I could.
The problem is you don't necessarily get access to fire arrows very easily unless you pick up a bow that happens to have fire built into it, because most of the time you have to find an external source of fire to actually get the bow to... It's not like Odyssey, which actually introduced poison arrows, fire arrows, so you can actually do these things, and that's why I think, and I'm going to say this, I think...
You can get fire arrows with specific bows.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
I use in Origins.
My Predator bow that I've been using, it's got fire built into it, so that's been helping a lot with them scorpions as well. I've got Reduce, Reuse, Recycle, sell 100 trinkets at once, which I guess I'll just do after I've done all the other little locations. I've got Roar, which is Tame a Lion, which I can imagine will go well in hand with the set update one. And then I've got the last trophy that I will need, which is the one I'm not looking forward to at all, which is Old Habits. Complete all locations.
That wouldn't be too bad.
It's a lot of locations there. It's not like Odyssey. Odyssey didn't have that. They only had complete underwater locations, but all locations is... Even though I know it's not too bad. I mean, I know it's only a matter of running around to all the question marks on the map and things and just collecting this, get that papyrus.
That one doesn't include the DLC maps either.
No,
it's just
I know.
The main Egypt.
I know. Obviously, the trophies are separated for in PlayStation anyway. But that's the only one I'm not looking forward to really, because it just feels like it's going to be a lot of running around and stuff. So that could be fun. But I obviously did use that level up exploit that they gave us, which is quite funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you hadn't used that and you'd have just done everything just naturally to level up.
Well, yeah, but either way, the way I look at it is I'm going to have to do it anyway. But all I've done now is made it easier for myself as well. enemy scale if you want them to. Anyway, I can't be bothered to have them scaled to me. So, I have enemy scaling turned off, but yeah, the way I see it, it was quite handy because obviously I didn't have my old Origins save from my original PS4, so I would have had to go on through everything again to get to where I was, even to be able to get on to getting the Platinum. So to be able to do a big skip ahead and gain like 40 levels in a minute was quite good. And it meant I was able to pick up the DLC trophies pretty quickly that I was missing and then get back onto the main Platinum. So yeah, I'm glad I did it, and I would do it again.
Cheapskate.
Well, I'm getting the trophies for trophies, you know. Need to pick up the trophies. Simple as that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's podcast, I think. There's not really much else to talk about. There's nothing coming up at the moment except my depression. So there's nothing going down. What's coming up? My depression. What's going down? My general happiness. You know, what's coming up? Second spike of the virus. That's what's coming up. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know. The government themselves don't know.
No one knows. I just want it all to end. I just want to be able to go out and buy chocolate without being judged by the world.
Well, like June 15th, shops here are going to start opening and that again, and then it'll just sort of be a slow sort of thing, like things gradually getting back to normal, or as close to normal as you
I know.
get.
The problem is I'm going to have to go back to work at the end of June, and I'm going to think to myself, I know I'm going to sit there and I'm going to think, oh Christ, I feel like, can I not have some more time off? I don't feel like going back to work yet. Even though I've just had 4 months off at that point, first thing I'm going to think to myself is, that went quickly. These holidays always do go quickly, don't they? These 4 months. In a flash, and then the work feels like it takes forever and the holidays are over.
Flash! Savior of the universe!
Okay. Flash. Alright, well... Okay. That's,
on that note.
Thank you for that. But yes, on that note, as you say, that is it. It's over. Done. All over.
Capiche.
It's capiche, as they might say in Mafia 2, being all mobby and Italian and that. But yes, thank you for listening to this week's podcast number 12. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Bruno, leave a comment, you bastard.
Yeah, please.
Otherwise,
we'll
talk about, Sunset Overdrive for every podcast forever. Even if you don't listen, we'll send you it in messages. Yeah, that's right. And apologies to Arena if you are a man or a girl. Alex didn't mean to judge your sexuality or your gender. If you would like to go to his house and stone him, feel free. I can tell you which bedroom window is his if you like. I know which one it is. If you'd like to fire the RPG. Or just fire the whole house, you'd probably kill him anyway. Make sure you do a thorough job. Anyway.
I'll have them all home down though, because they'll have broke social distancing and lockdown and that, so yeah.
Wait, hold on. You think the police are going to turn up and go, "Excuse me, sir, you with the RPG firing at that man's house? What are you doing outside the house without a proper reason?"
Well, yeah.
that's their only concern. That's their only concern is. No, don't worry about the RPG, mate. I want to know why you're not outside, why you're not fucking socially distancing in lockdown, huh? This is just, it's just stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Oh. These things are happening. I haven't actually seen a great deal of police actually since I did block in the police the other day, as you know, when I was making that charity donation to the clothes bank in our local town, because it's at a police station. I parked in front of the clothes bank, and then I blocked the police cars from coming out of the station. So
that's disgraceful.
I know, but I was donating to charity at the same time, so it's kind of half and half, isn't it? I've maintained my edge, my daring edge, but also been a very nice person. So I feel like I've done good and bad there. You know?
Mm.
In all honesty, I thought he was going to stop and ask me what I was doing. I was kind of thinking that I was kind of concerned that he'd think I was trying to rob clothes from the from the clothes bank. Because when he came around the corner, my arm was kind of deep into the clothes bank because I was trying to push down my clothes. So if anything, it might have looked like I was just robbing it. So I was kind of, but he didn't. He just sort of drove past me and just looked at me, and then I just waved. So who knows? Actually, I don't know if coming out of the house to make like a charity donation is part of the rules. Is it?
I don't know. Thing is, all charities are kind of fell by the wayside. Like all cancer research and that's fell by the wayside. It's all about coronavirus vaccine.
Yeah. So why bother? Waiting about things that are actually happening right now. Just focus on that instead. All fantastic. And the silence. Alex doesn't know what to say. He is too afraid now to make any more comments in case the LGBT community turns up to stone him outside his house. If you want to know where Alex lives, just look into the comments of this video where I've posted his address. And also send pictures of your wang if you would like to have us view them.
There we go.
And we will discuss your wang openly on the podcast. I will send a picture of your wang to Alex and we will view it one at a time. And we will discuss its shape, design, its prowess.
See if it's it's ergonomics.
Yeah, true. Does your wang have prowess?
I don't know. Does my wang have prowess?
Bruno, does your wang have prowess?
I bet it does.
Yeah, it probably does. Might do.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week's podcast. Hope you liked it. And tune in next
And if
week.
you didn't, well then fuck you.
Yes. Tune in next week where we'll be doing this again for some reason.
Oh, goody.
And we'll have an interview maybe with Bruno perhaps about why he now hates us and won't listen to the
I keep
podcast.
trying to get him on here, but he keeps, refusing. So
Perhaps it's because we keep talking about.
Think you can do it.
Perhaps it's because we keep talking about his wang. Maybe he's concerned that we will ask him about his wang on the podcast. Perhaps he's concerned that the first question is going to be us describe your wang, Bruno. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think we'd probably be offensive towards the people of Italy and northern or southern Austria or something, wouldn't we?
According to Bruno, the fact that I like pizza with barbecue chicken on is an insult to Italy. So
why is that an insult?
Say that.
Why is that an insult? Is this our way of getting Bruno to comment? We just talk about pizza.
I don't know.
What's wrong?
Pizza yesterday, it was nice.
What's wrong with barbecue chicken? Barbecue chicken is the best pizza, guys.
Yeah, Bruno, God. I thought you were a real Italian. If you were, you'd know this.
What is a real Italian pizza then? What is a real Italian pizza?
I don't know. Ask Bruno. He probably knows.
Just, does it just have like pepperoni on it or something? I mean, surely pizzas can have very many different varieties. I don't see the Bruno. Leave a comment about what's a real Italian pizza, and we'll discuss pizzas in the next. Maybe that could be next week's topic: pizzas. We could talk. I'm sure we could talk about that. I mean, what's your opinion on pineapple on pizza, Alex?
Pineapple on pizza. It's blasphemy.
Oh, I like pineapple on pizza.
You're blasphemous, bitch.
Oh, blasphemic. Well, this coming from the guy who was just, presuming someone's gender just moments ago. Now he's trying to redeem himself with pizza talk. I won't bow down to your ideals, Alex.
Okay, I think
bastard.
I think we should leave the podcast. We're not just whittering on. Let's end this thing.
All right.
Let's end it. Everyone's zoned out. Everyone's left anyway.
Okay then. Well, goodbye everyone. Have a lovely day.
Goodbye everyone.
Enjoy.
I apologise for the ending, but you know how Ben gets. He will keep whittering on.
Yes.
and on and on
No.
and on
We'll go and just...
and on
We'll just... You
and
can't...
on.
Will you? Be quiet. Alright.
Yes, sir.
Thank you to Jesus. Goodbye.
Ah, I have expected you. Greetings. Do you know why I live here? Yes. I have been pondering on exactly that question. All in good time. First, a question for you. Imagine but a whisper pushing aside all in its path. What will you burn? What will you spare? Yes. Few could resist such a challenge. You once told me you did not believe in destiny. Do you have no better reason for acting than destiny? Are you nothing but a plaything of fate? Yes. Do not be afraid. Fulfill your destiny. Few could resist such a challenge. Why do you delay? What else would you seek? Go then. Fare thee well. Do not be afraid. Remember well. Power, you have it, but power is inert without action and choice.